Good morning, everyone. It's Stephen Williams, founder and president of the creditrepairshop.com. And in today's video, we're going to talk about receiving a collection letter, but this collection letter was a little bit different. And this is something that you need to pay attention to. When this client brought it to my office yesterday, it was more than just a collection letter, it was actually a judgment collection letter. And then we're going to close it out with what you can do if you get one of these letters for this particular type of situation, and then with the positive thinking, I'm going to give you some ways to think positive, regardless of what you're facing financially or with things on your credit report. So, I had a client come in yesterday, very upset. Was number one because she had just lost a friend, that a young friend that was, I believe, 26 years old, had a heart attack. She did have heart problems, but she had a heart attack Sunday night. I'm sorry, Monday night, and she got it's weird. She got this letter from a collection attorney on Tuesday. Came by our office, and we read through it. And from the way that she had explained it before she got here, she just thought it was a straight up collection letter. And what had happened was, years ago, she was in an accident at a train stop, and you know where sometimes the cars end up stopping fast because the guard came down, and it made a chain reaction crash where cars was hitting car. And when that happens, they usually make it's not where the person behind you that hit that, or the person that hit the person behind you is responsible for everybody that goes up. What happens is the insurance pays out for each person that hit. So if the person that hit the person behind you, their insurance will pay for them, and then the person that hit you, their insurance will pay for you, and then if you hit someone, your insurance will pay for them. But what happens also is that it's considered a no fault. The fault goes all the way back to the person who initiated the whole accident. But what happened in this situation is that for some reason, she just didn't have auto insurance at that time. And what ended up happening was she had, talked with the people on the scene, and everybody thought everyone was, on the same page. And what ended up happening is, later she got a lawsuit that was being filed against her, and because she didn't have insurance, even though it was someone else that hit her, that because she didn't really take down the notes and didn't get the proper police reports, it made it look like she was the one that was at fault when she wasn't at fault. So what ended up happening, and I think, sometimes people don't tell you everything, because if this could have been corrected with the police reports, they would have, if she would have taken care of it at that time, police reports would have showed, just from the drawn out accident reports from the other individuals and where her car was, that it was not her fault. But sometimes people disregard things. They have other things that they're worried about, and they forget about it and think that things like this will just go away. But it didn't. It ended up becoming a judgment against her, because her car was pushed into the car ahead of her. So that person that she hit, even though on the scene they said, "Well, I know it's not your fault," but what they did is they filed a claim against her insurance. She didn't have insurance, so then what ended up happening, it made a chain reaction to where she had a judgment. And when this type of judgment happens, the state, at least the state that I live in, they actually take away your driver's license if you don't have insurance and you get into an accident and you don't pay for that accident. They will suspend your driver's license. So her driver's license got suspended, and she had this collection for an unpaid accident. It went into court a judgment was done. I don't know if she showed up for that court case. That was years ago. At that time they did garnish her wages for a little bit, but then I guess she had switched jobs, and then the garnishment had stopped, and now she's at a new job years later, and this pops up, and it looks like they're with a new collection agency, and they're going to start over the process, and they're going to try to garnish her wages. And so that's what the situation is. But when she brought that in and we looked at the paperwork, when she called us over the phone, we thought it was just like everything was at the beginning process, but it was actually something that was already put in place. So she was thinking that, well, maybe I can do a validation. Well, she didn't use that word, but she had saw one of my videos, and she was thinking, can I make sure that this debt is collectible? And I said, yes, but because it's a judgment, there's a 20-year, in our state, 20 years that they can collect a judgment like this. It would be different if they had just got the judgment. You can go back into court, reopen it, and then state your case. But once you have let that sit in our state for 6 months, there's really nothing that you can do. It is rare that they would reopen it. So moving forward, this is what she's going to have to do. She's going to have to figure out the relationship between the collection attorney to see if that is a legitimate relationship, that they did authorize this attorney to collect the debt. I'm pretty sure that the attorney did get authorization to collect it, or they wouldn't be sending it. But it's worth checking that out just to make sure. The collection attorney is a collection attorney also in another state. So one of the things that we would do is to make sure that they're registered here in our state of Wisconsin to be able to collect debt. They have to be registered in our state. The next thing that we would double check again is to make sure that it's not past statute of limitations, even for the 20-year. We did check, and it's not past that statute of limitations. The other thing that, just double checking, as if she didn't tell us the whole story about not having insurance, we would just make sure that she did not have insurance in place. And then another thing that you could do is that you can, in some cases, file that claim against the person behind you, because I don't even think that she even followed through and filed a claim against the person behind her. She was just thinking, she was afraid because she didn't have insurance, that she didn't want to, get anything stirred up. So she kind of, in a way, let the person that hit her off the hook by not filing a claim on their insurance. If everything checks out on that side, then she must move into a settlement, phase. Right now, the debt is over $9,000 on the damages that was done on the car above. That's why this collection attorney is gonna try hard to collect this money, because of the amount of the outstanding debt. So if she cannot afford to do a settlement, which in these cases, when it has went through a long stretch, they will usually do a very good discounted settlement, if not 50% or less. They would usually do that. If she doesn't get into that posture and starts opening up communications, they will seek a garnishment. That is exactly why this is popping up again. They probably looked at her credit reports and they saw that she's in a position to be able to pay. And so now they say they're looking at, hey, we can just start garnishing her wages again. So we told her what you need to be prepared for is if you get a garnishment order, which is going to be the next step that they're going to do, she needs to be prepared for several things, and she needs to be prepared to fill out the garnishment worksheet. That's where she could see if she even, or the amount that they would be able to legally garnish from her disposable income. And the next thing is and we did this check for her, is to see can she legally be garnished with her dependents and how much money she earns on a weekly or bi-weekly basis. She does earn enough money to be garnished, so there's not going to be any way to get out of it by not qualifying on the amount of money that she makes. We check to see if she, with her financial situation, was she earning money with her job, and was it on some sort of disability income that boosted it up. It was not any disability income, so there's no way that strategy would be able to be used to stop a garnishment when it starts. If she, now let me just walk you through some of the solutions that we would have used if she did not work, but she was 100% on disability or retirement income. This garnishment potentially would not be able to go into effect, especially when it's income from Social Security or from a disability. In some states, you cannot garnish money that is from money that you receive from retirement. Florida is one that comes to mind. So this is the situation that she's going to be facing, and I think that this could also help some of you that may be facing this type of collection to review it again. This was a collection from an auto accident where she did not have insurance, and they are coming after her to collect the money for the damages on the vehicle. Obviously, the person, if they had uninsured motors on their car, they would get their car taken care of. But what happens is that the insurance companies, they file a claim against that individual, take them to court, and they also send over, at least in our state, they file with the insurance department in our state saying that this individual didn't have auto insurance, which is a violation in our state, and that they use that as a way to try to force the person to have to pay by having their license taken away. That's crazy, because if they don't have their license, they can't get, some cases they can't even get to work. So you're actually making a situation worse. So if you need any help, please post your comments here. I'll be answering those on Friday. That'll be my next video. Please visit our website, thecreditrepairshop.com. That's www.creditrepairshop.com. Link is below this video also. If you need your credit reports and scores, this is where everything starts. You need to know what's on your credit reports and your scores so you can see what needs to be done. That's where I would start. That's where I get all of potential clients to start, so we can just see what's going on. There's a link below here. Go to www.your3scores.com. Grab those reports, grab those scores, so you can just see what you're facing. It is a paid service, but you need to know. The free services don't give you all of the information and the data that you're going to need to be able to move forward. And also, please subscribe to my channel. I went over 4,000 people this week, and I really appreciate it. I hope that you get a lot out of the information that I'm sharing with you. This is real deal client information. We're not someone that's just selling, papers or forms or memberships online. We actually work with customers on a daily basis, so we know how they feel. We know what they're going through. We know their ups and downs, and we're a solution-oriented company. Now let's close out the video with thinking positive. And I've been getting into this, and I think that this is something that people need to think about. Again, like with this situation, when she came in, she was very upset because now she knows, she remembered back from when they did garnish in the past. Those feelings came back up, and she was like, they're going to get my money. What am I going to do? I got to take care of my kid. I got to take care of my household. This is money that I thought that I was going to have, and now this company is coming to take it. So it brings up very negative feelings, because you feel like that they're pointing directly at you, and you see the amount of money that they're trying to come after, it boils up very negative feelings. And so what you have to do is you have to start thinking positive. What we did with her is we just wrote it down on a piece of paper. We said, let's check this, let's check this, let's check that. All of the things that I talked about in this video, we checked those things. And then when it got to the point, we prepared her for what was going to potentially be the outcome, which could be a garnishment, and prepared her for that, and prepared her to with strategies on getting that at the lowest amount possible, prepared her for if she was able to do a settlement for a discount, and prepared her for ways that she could potentially stop the garnishment. So all of those solutions are on the table, so it allows a person to think and be able to move forward. Now, it has not gotten to a garnishment phase yet, and we don't want to get the collection agency moving at that yet. What we are doing is just still consulting with her on the next steps, on what is going to be the next step before that. But basically what we told her to do is to wait and see what their next step is going to be, especially because it's a collection agency from out of state. And yes, they're probably scanning her credit reports and looking at her job, where she's working, and that they're going to be able to try to do the garnishment. But when they initiate that, that's when we will put into action the next steps of potentially doing a settlement. And you can do settlements where you can say, get an agreed settlement, and then have either lump sum payments to you, even though it's going to be one lump sum, but you can break those payments into that lump sum into payments. It's all about negotiation. And then you can also move it down into a later date. There might be a time where she's going to have a good amount of money coming in, either from taxes or something, and you can move that down some time to allow her to be able to do that. Here's some other strategies that she could use. She could actually get a deferment on all of her debt, her mortgage, her car payment, any other consumer loans that she's paying on. She can get a deferment so she can accumulate that cash and then go ahead and do a lump sum payment on that. But until you don't know what move you have to make until they make their move on doing the if they're going to go for a garnishment, because at that time I think that would be the appropriate time to start talking to them about doing the settlement. Right now she's not in the position. We've talked to her, or we would initiate potential settlement, but she's not in the position to be able to do that right at this time, even being able to move forward on deferring the payments. So whatever decision that she would have to make would have to be made in the next coming months. That's why we want to give this some time to kind of mature itself. So again, this is Stephen Williams, founder and president of the creditrepairshop.com. Hope this information is very informative and valuable to you. Visit our website. Links are below. Get your credit reports and scores. Links are below. And if you ever find yourself in a situation where you have a judgment coming after you, this is a strategy that you can use to deal with that. Thank you, and have a great day.